British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Hello and welcome to BCIT's The Crow. I'm Melissa Cusano, and here are your 12 o'clock news headlines. London Drugs is gradually reopening its stores across Western Canada, with more than a week after a cybersecurity breach forced the retailer to close. The company says it is working with independent cybersecurity experts to securely bring its systems back online after it was discovered April 28th. The Richmond, BC-based pharmacy and retailer operates about 80 London Drugs locations across Western Canada. The retailer says on its website that more than 24 stores are back in operation in BC. The company notes that some stores may not fully be open during regular operating hours while it completes the reopening process. And a statement from London Drugs says its systems have been thoroughly tested and the company has full confidence that it is secure. Now an update in the Middle East. Hamas says it agreed to a ceasefire as Palestinians in Gaza celebrate. The Hamas militant group said Monday it has accepted a ceasefire proposal from mediators Egypt and Qatar, which could end 7 months of war in Gaza. However, it's uncertain whether a deal has been sealed. People jubilantly rushed into the streets in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, which is the crosshairs of a possible Israeli military offensive. Men rode on each other's shoulders, whistling and shouting as children ran around them. However, it's uncertain whether a deal had been sealed. An Israeli official warned that the plan approved by Hamas is not the framework Israel proposed. Israel is still formulating a response. The announcement came hours after Israel's military said it had ordered around 100,000 people to evacuate Rafah, signaling the long-promised ground invasion could be imminent. Israel says Rafah is Hamas's last stronghold. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is warning Conservatives to back down from attempts to block pharmacare legislation as the House of Commons prepares to vote on the bill for the first time. The legislation is a central condition of the NDP's political pact with the governing Liberals and includes a program to cover select contraceptive and diabetes medical supplies. Conservative health critic Stephen Ellis tabled an amendment to the bill last month that, if passed, would effectively quash the proposed law. He argues the program will do nothing to address the healthcare crisis and instead offers an inferior drug plan that covers less, costs more, and builds up a massive new bureaucracy. The New Democrats asked the Conservatives to withdraw that amendment today in what Singh is describing as an ultimatum, but the Tories declined. The bill is expected to pass easily with the support of the Liberals and the NDP, no matter how the official opposition votes. Canadian Jewish leaders are warning of a national crisis as the number of hateful incidents targeting Jews doubled in 1 year. B'nai B'rith Canada says it has documented nearly 5,800 incidents of anti-Semitism in 2023, including acts of violence, harassment, and vandalism. Way more than 2,800 in 2022. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke about the rise in anti-Semitism since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel at a memorial event in Ottawa, recognizing Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Threatening, harassing, and excluding Canadians because of their faith, their identity, or because they support the Jewish people's right to self-determination in their ancestral homeland is absolutely unacceptable.
Canadian rapper Drake and American rapper Kendrick Lamar's rap war continues, with a response from Drake after Lamar's diss track on the Canadian singer. Reporter Jason Nathanson has more.
Drake wants to make one thing clear.
Drake is not a name that you gon' see on no sex offender list.
He raps that in the song The Heart Part 6, his latest response to Kendrick Lamar, as the two top-tier rappers go back and forth, slinging allegations at each other. Over the weekend, Lamar dropped 2 songs that accuse Drake of having a liking for young girls. Drake says not so fast.
I never been with no one underage, but now I understand why this the angle that you really mess with.
And towards the end of the new song, Drake drops an unsubstantiated accusation of his own.
I don't wanna fight with a woman beater, it feeds your nature.
The two have gone back and forth on 9 songs since the feud began in March. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
on 1680 The Crow.
Good afternoon. I'm Jacob Fraser, and this is your 1240 Sports Update. The schedule has been set for the Vancouver Canucks Round 2 matchup against the Edmonton Oilers. Puck drop for Game 1 will take place on Wednesday in Vancouver. Canucks head coach Rick Tocchet has ruled out goaltender Thatcher Demko for Game 1. The Canucks and the Oilers are the only two remaining Canadian teams in the NHL playoffs. The Canucks have beaten the Oilers in all 4 of their previous matchups this season. Winnipeg Jets head coach Rick Bowness has announced he is retiring from coaching after 38 seasons in the NHL. Bowness served as a coach for 8 different teams in his career, including serving as an associate coach for the Canucks during their 2011 Stanley Cup final run. Bowness is one of 3 head coaches to serve behind the bench in 5 different decades. His 2,726 games as an NHL coach are the most by anyone in league history. Bowness said after the Jets' final playoff loss against Colorado, he knew he would be retiring.
Well, it probably dawned on me very quickly as I was walking off the ice after Tuesday's game. I wasn't happy with myself. Wasn't happy with how the team played, people have always said you'll know when it's time, and I think that hit me. Okay, it's time.
The NHL has announced the 6 finalists for the Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award. The award is given to the, quote, individual who, through the sport of hockey, has positively impacted their community, culture, or society, end quote. Vancouver's Mark Bergen, Toronto's Mark DeMontis, and Hamilton's Alan Hurley are the 3 Canadian finalists. The winners of the award will be announced in June, with 1 Canadian and 1 American recipient. The roster has been set for Canada's Men's Ice Hockey World Championship team. This year's team features 3 BC natives, Vancouver-born forward Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini, along with Cranbrook-born defenseman Bowen Byram, who spent his junior career with the Vancouver Giants. The tournament kicks off on May 10th, with Canada starting off their tournament May 11th in a game against Great Britain. Puck drop for Game 6 between the Prince George Cougars and the Portland Winterhawks is tonight. The Winterhawks are currently up 3-2 in the series, with a chance to clinch their spot in the WHL final. The winner of the series will take on the winner between the Saskatoon Blades and the Moose Jaw Warriors. The Blades and Warriors will face off tomorrow in a winner-takes-all Game 7 matchup. The Seattle Mariners are heading over to Minnesota to face the Twins, who have won 12 of their past 13 games. This series marks the first time Mariners starting shortstop Jorge Polanco is returning to Minnesota since being traded from the Twins on January 29th. Polanco spent over a decade in the Twins organization, playing just under 800 games with the team, along with being named an All-Star 1 time. Victoria native and former BC Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke has been waived by the New England Patriots. This move comes after the Patriots selected 2 rookie quarterbacks in the 2024 NFL Draft, including 3rd overall pick Drake May, as well as adding veteran Jacoby Brissett in free agency. Rourke was previously picked up off waivers by the Patriots from the Jacksonville Jaguars last season. The referee for the Premier League match between Crystal Palace and Manchester United on Monday will wear a camera on his head for a program that will be broadcast later this year to offer an insight into the demands of being a match official. The league says the head-mounted device worn by Jared Gillette at Selhurst Park will be integrated into the referee's usual communication system. It is being called RefCam. The technology is being used on a one-off basis as part of filming for a short program promoting match officials. The footage will not be broadcast live. Brittany Griner says she is still adjusting after her Russian prison ordeal. The WNBA star is releasing a book detailing her experience tomorrow called Coming Home. Griner spent 10 months in a Russian prison after her arrest at a Moscow airport in February 2022. That has been your 1240 News Sports Update. I'm Jacob Fraser. You are listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Teresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.